Hello, welcome back. My name is Dr. George Mochocki, and we're starting week 15. So let's go to week 15 on our weekly homework assignment. Those of you, remember, you should be doing your last Learn Smart homework, chapter 20 on banking, financial, and money. So you could just click on here and do your homework. Any late exam or any homework that you forgot, let me know. I also, and I think last week, uh, announced that there are reviews for the Department of Business and Social Science in the business division. Will have a review for Intro to Business class. That's a course that we have a lot of students taking. It's a 2 hour review. You could come into the classroom and here's you click on the link in here. There's a PDF file, or since you're an online class, there's also a virtual review other than what I will be presenting to you, to at least give you some idea how to prepare for the final exam. You've been doing very well in this course. We're already in week 15. I think we only have we'll have this week, and then next week you'll be working fully on your present paper major project. You'll be working on your PowerPoint. Remember your PowerPoint, you'll do a quick PowerPoint, 4 or 5 slides, just like as you would have been presenting to me inside in a face-to-face class, or even if you've came up with your idea or your concept or action plan, and you have to be able to present this to your client, your customer, or your supervisor, or to your team. So you need the PowerPoints, and the PowerPoints are just going to be bullets. Remember now, those are worth, I think, 50 points, whatever. You have to look at the syllabus. If you put a narrative to it, on a PowerPoint you go on, I want to stretch you. When I mean stretching you, when you're in business, technology is part of my life, whether you like it or not. I'm a lot older than a lot of individuals. And look, I have to know Blackboard, I have to know Microsoft Excel, I have to know all these other technological advancements, which makes my business able to maintain its competitive edge, reach its customers base, understanding how I do business. Look, when we're talking about this chapter, we're going to be talking about banking. So, what are banking regulations? Everything everyone's doing banking now is either, checks are a thing of a past. Some people still write the check, but when they put the check into the machine, you go to Walmart or Target. When they run it through that machine, it's basically looking at it the same way as a debit card. Debit card makes it easier. Now, with a debit card, everything else came in. If you look at the banking, we're going to talk about banking. You have your PayPal, you have your Tap. I don't even have to have a credit card. I could just say pay in here and go to the point of purchase terminal. Boom, the new ones that are up to date. The companies are up to date. Boom, and it takes my information and it charges me. You're even looking. Last time we talked about what Amazon was doing with one of the videos. What's Amazon doing to some of their brick and mortar stores? Because people still like to come in and touch stuff. Not everything's all virtual. I mean, we can make it as close as we can, but Amazon's doing. We can come and buy your stuff. You don't need a person to check out, because everything else will have radio frequency in there, and it automatically, for lack of better words, will tally your total and charge your debit card, because you're already at the store. You have a relationship. I'm George. Here's my smartphone. Boom, here it is. I have an account set up. When I walk in here, if I buy all this stuff, here's where it just charge my account automatically. That is where we're going. Banking has to adjust to it. Same thing with banking. When you're looking, but I want you to think about the banking thing. Not only how banks interact with us, that is just like a business. But also, I want you to focus in on this chapter on the Federal Reserve. What does the Federal Reserve do? So let me go in here, first of all, into our weekly homework assignment. And we're going to go on week 15. It's not open yet. It'll be open after I finish this recording. I have various, what do you call it, videos in here. You could, a couple of them. Here's one that's on what determines the value of money. Look, they're only like 3 minutes. If you don't understand, everyone's taking this class for the good grade. You have to take classes as professional growth. If you're a business person, You're working, if you're not a business person, you're working for somebody. And then now you're a supervisor. You basically are your own entrepreneur of your team or your small business. You have a budget, you have people, you have to motivate them, you have to do things like this. So you have to understand the money situation. And so look at here, so don't look at it as a homework assignment. Look at it as a way of knowledge. Not only what I've learned in business, I could take that same skill set and make my financial outlook more stable going forward using the same concepts that you're learning in this class. So understand what the banking, when the Federal Reserve is raising the interest rate, what does that mean? Remember, the Federal Reserve borrows money to the banks when it needs money. It takes loans on it. So if the Federal Reserve says, here's 3%, and the bank says, hey, I don't have enough savings, I need some money so I could give out loans to people who are coming to me, I borrow for the Federal Reserve. Right now, if I borrow from the Federal Reserve 2%, now I'm a bank. I'm a business. I get a 2%. That is my supply. That is my my inventory. I get so much money from the Federal Reserve at 2%. I got to pay them back. That's my supply. Am I going to give it to you at 2%? Heck no! I'm going to give it to you maybe at 5%, and maybe 6%, maybe 10%. Two things you're looking at. Same thing as a bank, as a business. What's the risk? How quickly can you pay me back? Are you going to be a default? Higher risk, I'm getting more money. Because that higher interest rate, if you're good, it's good for me. But if not, it's going to take some of my money that I'm getting from you now to recoup either my asset or capital. If I use it as a collateral, like say for a car or a home, to get back. So I'm taking that. Now a bank is looking at the other thing. I get it for 2%, I'm going to make some money out of it, right? Now if you're going to put money in my savings account and it's only 1%, but you're going to put it in a commercial deposit, that means you won't be able to, you telling me I'm not Mr. George Bank, I am not going to touch that money for a little while. For at least 6 months. Now, I as a bank could say, I'm paying you 6%. I could charge somebody else because I had the money. It's my resource. I got it either from the Federal Reserve or I received it from my savings. But I know you're not going to touch it, so now I could lend money out to somebody who wants it maybe at 12%. I'm making money on that. So if you get, and that's the same way you're looking at credit card. But we talked before. If I could get 0% from the bank, with certain conditions, I pay on time, all that. Why use my money, take my money, and make money on money? Similar to what a bank is doing, but they could do it as a business. Okay, so you have these. So this explains the Federal Reserve, and this makes important because remember, in the banking industry, and when the Federal Reserve says we're going to have an inflation or we're going to pull money out of the system, what tools do they use? They basically all remember. There's two avenues that help maintain our economic policy. One is the fiscal policy, which is government taxes and spending, taking money in and taking money out of the economy. The other one is the Federal Reserve. How much money is printed, how much, and you'll see some of these videos, and also with the reading. What's my interest rate? How do I put money into the economy? How do I put money out of the economy? Do I want deflation? Do I want inflation? How do I find that balance? And this is what this, and where did they come up with the numbers? What are the three what are the three factors they're looking at? They're looking at unemployment rate, they're looking at the interest rate, or inflation. What else they're looking? Where are they getting? How did they get this average for the country? How come they said the average went into the recession? Some parts of the country aren't in a recession. They're doing well. Also look at my video explaining the whole lecture. It's an hour. These are real quick, short videos just to get you. What I'm trying to do in this course is so you conceptually understand concepts, what's going on. I teach finance. There's a lot of more math in there. When you're taking economics, micro, macro, there's a lot of math formulas for you to get the number. But conceptually, you have to understand what's going on. When they say my blood pressure is here and here, is it high? I have to understand what blood pressure does first. Now, what are they rationing? What's an average blood pressure? What's a higher blood pressure? Same thing here. What does the Federal Reserve, where is it getting this number? How many districts are there? That's always on the exam, okay? So we have this on the Federal Reserve. Okay, so we look at the videos. You're going to go back into your weekly homework assignment. Now look, I'm not going to preach anymore on those of you who aren't doing my minimum posting of 6. I'm doing 1 post, 2 posts. You're in week 15. You don't want the points? Fine. That doesn't bother me. Remember, I give you an incentive. You're the one taking the incentive. Don't come back later and say, oh, what do I do to get a better grade? You had all the opportunity. No different than if you were a supplier for me and you're always late on delivery. Am I going to give you more delivery? Am I going to give you a good rating? Or a customer, I order from a company and they say in 2 days and they don't give it to me for 3 weeks. What kind of customer service am I going to do on that? Will I recommend you? Part of this course, or at the end, I want to re-emphasize is that you learn time management. We started out with 17. I think we're with 12, which is excellent. 12 or 14. I got some coming going. You know what I mean? But we're not doing too bad. But in business, whether you're a small business owner or whether you're look, let's take a bank and a credit card. Pay your credit card late. Does he say, hey, that's okay, George, we're glad you got the money? Nope. You're paying a fee. Same here. Remember, look at your courses and your grade as academic currency. I want to get an A. Did you deserve an A? Did you do everything on time? Were you late? Did you have a penalty? All right. So we have that. So let's see what. So you have. We're in week 15. You have, this is my video here. It's an hour, and this one's 45 minutes. And then you're going to have one here, just a quick overview. Here's your last Learn Smart. Next week we're going to be doing strictly all discussions. Now, on the forum, here's what I want you to do on the forums. I'm not going to go into forums. You already know the forums. Let me explain the forums. I'm not making you watch any videos. You can look at some of the videos and comments in here. The forums this week is worth 25 points. Oops, I better put that in here, but I'll do that later. Let me see, control, let me just make this a little bit bigger so everyone could see this on here, and usually my picture's in here. Okay, so one must understand the past to prepare for the future. What I want you to do in business, you're looking at historical data, what happened in the past. The reason a lot of businesses or banks aren't lending money to be a small business or owners, or to even medium and large owners, even with good credit, because they're afraid with the regulation and everything else, the risk, you don't want to get burned. So you really have to walk on water, or really have excellent high, what do you call it, credit score. Okay, or in the case what we learned from last semester, from business, 100 points or up. Okay, so do an internet search, find at least the latest articles on financial crisis, and it's really easy. Your topic is what happened to the banking industry around 2000 to the present. Remember, what happened? Okay, we've learned, so we understand. Here, the crash, everybody else, and some of you, if you're Generation Z students, some of you are here, you probably didn't live through that banking crisis. You're probably coming around, because I think it's from 2010 to 2017 is Generation Z, the new generation. Us as business individuals, even bankers, trying to understand your buying and how much money you're going to save, or where you're going to, how you're going to spend your money. Everyone's watching you. So if you're rich, remember, we're keeping an eye on you. Literally keeping an eye on you. I think you look at all the things, technology around there. Even now, everyone knows what I'm doing. Okay? So read some articles. Post up here. Here's one article that I found out what I think. Put up the link. Now, remember, your forums now are open forums, which means you don't have to do the first post before you see everyone else's. I want you to post your thing in the subject area. Just don't say my question. You've got to, post in there saying, banking crisis. Wall Street Journal says banking crisis. Here's what happened. Boom. Or here's a link, a YouTube link. Boom. What I found out about what happened by a banking crisis. I just want you to look at different sources. And now when you're looking at researches as a business, you're beginning to, same thing as a consumer, you're beginning to understand it. Don't always look at the liberal media or the conservative media. You look at all the media so I can get a feel. Because everyone's going to tell you a certain percentage of the truth within their lens, how they're going to see it. So I look at the liberals, I look at the conservatives, I look at the Wall Street Journal, I look at, you look at all different types of media, look at people in the middle, look at Wall Street, look at Yahoo Financial, I look at the Federal Reserve, it has their own board information, that's government media, remember, government's going to give it its spin on it. Now what's the business's spin? Now I understand what is going on. That's why people hire College Lake County students, because not only do they know what the concept means, they know how to research it and put it forward. Remember, you're in business. Business individuals are practitioners. What I'm learning today, I want to put in effect tomorrow. I'm not like a researcher, academic, where it's basically going out there, even though I am going out there and saying, in the future, here's what I think the new business world. Most business people are, I'm learning something. I'm learning how to motivate people. I understand the financial. I understand the present value of money. I understand what happens when the interest rates are going up. What's the Federal Reserve trying to tell me? What messages are they sending? What's the government doing? It's dropping its taxes. It's doing its trying to reduce its spending. Now the Federal Reserve is raising interest rate. Or what are they doing? Are they trying to find that balance between deflation and inflation? What you'll learn in this chapter. All right. So you have that. Do that now. After you from this exercise as an owner to learn to use the web is secondary. Now from research, fine. So now you learn about the past up to the present. I want you to look into, there's a new administration, or like they say, there's a new sheriff in town. Remember, I don't care if you like Donald Trump or the administration or because the Republicans and you're a Democrat. I could care. I'm a business person. I want to survive. I just want to make sure I do everything legally. And if there's some advantages with the new administration, fine, I'm going to jump on it because I can make some money on it. If I make money, Adam Smith, what we learned in, remember, economic system, I grow my business because there's less restrictions, there's some money available for me, less taxes. I could invest in the business and make more profit because more people are going to buy my product, and now I'll hire more people, like it or not. Remember, you have to look from a business from personal. I have my own personal preference which one I would like. From a business perspective, I have no choice. Same thing as consumers. You have no choice. Here's what's going on here. How could I do? Remember, what we've learned in other chapters, and what I really want to stress is that we as individuals are always looking out for not only ourselves, we're looking out for our family, our friends, our communities. That's what we're looking out for. And as business leaders, I have to help my friends, communities, because if I'm successful, I hire people, that give them jobs, I could sell my products, and they could basically buy their homes, buy their cars, take care of their family. Like that is the market system. As a business individual, I have to know what are the new rules, what are the new things. The thing that right now is messing up a lot of business people, what's going on with Obama, or Affordable Care. Obama's not there. Affordable Care Act. What are the changes? How much is going to cost me? That's a determination for me to know that if that's going to cost me so much, could I hire another person, or do I, maybe it comes in there. Look, I always want to help people have insurance. Trust me. But at what cost? I only have so much profit margin. I'm not a large Motorola, not a large Verizon, AT&T, Google. I'm a small business. How much is going to cost me is in my profit. I can't lose money, otherwise I have to close up shop. So that's what the concern is there. Now, if there is, or now I'm looking at the banking. The Federal Reserve is going to raise the rate. So now I'm going to see what's going to happen with the regulation. Now, I want to expand. Do I expand now while the rates are low before the Federal Reserve raises them? Or if it raises them, it's going to cost me more for my expansion. But I'm afraid, you see where I'm at in the crown? I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to balance the economy. That's why you have the two different forces looking at this to how am I going to balance it. You know what I mean? Spending's down, so the Federal Reserve doesn't want to have, they don't want you to go into an inflation because now you have more money but less goods. Businesses have been expanding because they couldn't get the money because there wasn't a customer. I'm not going to expand unless I know there's something going on. The economy is getting a little bit safer, steadier, so there's that balance. All right, but how much they raise it makes a big difference. So all this in the tax cuts, everything else is looking at from the banking perspective, what's going on with the banking. Look at the Federal Reserve. Look what's going to happen with the open markets. You have to understand that. Make sure you're doing the readings. We should do pretty good. All right, so communicate. This forum discussion board is 25 points. I'm trying to get you all the points. Look, do your 9 posts. Do your 7 to 9 posts. Get the full point. Don't just give me 1 or 2 sentences, because some of you are looking, we've already been in here. I'm being very open. I want you to do well in this class. I know you have other courses, and they're all on here. That's why when I was doing the homework, when you're doing all these discussion boards, I told you cut and paste, cut and paste. So now when you're doing a paper, it won't be that bad. All right? And then, let's say, so what do we have? Last week, Uh, you're doing all right. This week, remember, there's a couple questions people are asking about the PowerPoints. The PowerPoints do your 4 slides like you would be doing it in a regular presentation. Anything you do, you've got the written document. PowerPoints, I just want bullet. Now, if you want some extra points, those need some extra points, you put a narrative in there. That means when you're doing a PowerPoint, most of you are doing off your webcam, or you have some kind of a recording, record it and it's embedded and save it to me. Or you could do a YouTube. If you want a YouTube, you could do a private YouTube that only certain individuals I could see. Or if you want, you could share it with your class. I'll open up in one of the forums. You could put the link on that if you want to share it. I won't share your PowerPoint. In some classes I do, but this way I didn't set it up front, so I want to be fair. So, but you could share if you say in the last forum, hey, here's my PowerPoint, here's a YouTube on my business. Hey, that's part of, remember, if you do something like that in business, a lot of times it's another way of communicating to your customers or your clients, the same way I try to communicate with you. In a couple semesters, I'm going to be incorporating, we'll have, if you're taking me for another online class, a different subject matter, where they have Blackboard collaborations, like a kind of a Go meeting, where I could have everyone at one time, and you could ask questions, and I could just do an open discussion like this. I might be trying to do that for my, for lack of better words, my next online orientation. All right, so I'm a little bit over the 20 minutes, but we're at the end. I want to, you're right there. And many of you are doing very well in this class. I have B's and A's. I have a few, maybe C's. At least try to turn in a good paper. Look at the requirements. Remember, when you're writing your paper, 35 business terms of concept within the whole paper, 2,400 words. This is individual things, individual work, not as a team. And let's see, what else do I need? All the 7 headers in there, and 6 or 7 resources. And some of them, if you're doing even here with the banking, finding out that you've done in some of the other posts, you could use some of those as resources. All right? So again, look at my major paper requirements, what's required in the PowerPoint, and next week to hold this, not this week, the following week, or the whole week will be for your forum discussion. On your major paper and your PowerPoint, any questions you have to the class, and help each other out. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to this week on banking, money, and Federal Reserve. Make sure you look at this section. This is a section most students have a little problems with or don't fully understand, and this will help you on the exam. I think there's like 10 questions on this on the exam. I'll talk to you later. Bye.